From penguins, pangolins and pygmy hippos to fish that returned from extinction, here are 13 of the most rare animals in Africa. Number 13. African pangolin. Starting off with the world's only mammal known to be covered with sharp scales. They're made of keratin, the same material that makes up human fingernails, and they're used for shielding the animal when it rolls itself into a ball to protect itself, not unlike armadillos. There are 8 species overall, 4 of which occur in Africa. That includes the largest species known as the giant pangolin. They can weigh more than 70 pounds, 33 kilograms, and measure about 4.5 feet, that's 137 centimeters. Due to high global demand for their meat and scales, all species are at risk of going extinct. Did you know that more than 100,000 pangolins are captured and killed every year? By many accounts, these are the most illegally trafficked mammals in the world. Number 12. Black-footed cats. You can find plenty of big cats prowling about Africa, but what about small cats? This one is one of the smallest wild felines you'll find on any continent. They're nocturnal animals and very shy. During the day, they'll rest in the unoccupied burrows of porcupines or inside hollow termite mounds. Thanks to that behavior, these critters are rarely seen. The largest specimens weigh about 5.5 pounds, 2.5 kilograms, and measure about 25 inches or 64 centimeters, including the tail. As befits this small beast, it goes after smaller prey like rodents and smaller birds. While they're tiny, these animals can become fierce if they're cornered. The behavior has inspired the nickname anthill tiger due to its aggressiveness. Black-footed cats use their spots and patterns for camouflage and are endemic to arid regions of southern Africa. Its common name is a reference to the animal's foot pads and underparts, which are black. Number 11. GERENUK. This one isn't technically regarded as rare, at least not yet, but their numbers have declined enough that they're described as near threatened. They're antelope with a physical feature that's unusual for such animals. These slender animals are noted for their very long necks. In fact, their name translates as giraffe-necked from the Somali language. Their small heads have large eyes with curved horns displayed only by the males. While standing on their hind legs, these critters elongate their necks to reach fruits in tree branches more than 6.5 feet, 2 meters off the ground. In addition to fruit, the animals mainly eat plants, flowers and herbs. They're found in the Horn of Africa and East Africa. Number 10. African wild dog. A hypercarnivore is an animal with a diet that's comprised of more than 70% meat, and this beast fits that description perfectly. They especially favour antelopes and will chase them down until they're totally knackered. African wild dogs have colourful fur, which also earns them the nickname of African painted dog. Experts say the coloration might help the creatures identify one another. Of all the canids found on the continent, this is considered to be the most powerfully built. They can weigh nearly 80 pounds, 36 kilograms, and measure about 60 inches, 1.5 meters from nose to tip of the tail. They usually avoid forests in favour of savannas and arid regions of sub-Saharan Africa, but they've disappeared from much of their original range due to threats including human persecution and disease outbreaks. African wild dogs are considered endangered, with current populations estimated at fewer than 7,000 individuals. Number 9. Black rhinos. These big beasts look like they mean business and appear dangerous. To an extent, that appearance is not deceiving. Found in countries including Botswana and Kenya in the southern and eastern parts of the continent, these animals aren't necessarily black. Their coloration ranges from grey to brown. On average, they can measure more than 12 feet long, 3.8 meters, and weigh about 3,100 pounds or 1,400 kilograms. These solitary beasts can be aggressive enough to charge at anything they perceive as a threat. That even includes termite mounds and tree trunks. With their size, bulk, and formidable horns, the rhinos have no natural predators, although humans might count. Their numbers continue dropping due to factors that include poaching their body parts for traditional medicines. Hunting and killing these animals for their horns and skin is nothing new. Experts say the practice has been going on since at least 1200 BC. Number 8. Hooded vultures. Native to sub-Saharan Africa, these old-world critters look different from other vultures. This species is smaller, weighing less than 6 pounds, 2.6 kilograms, with a wingspan of about 65 inches or 165 centimeters. Their heads are typically white and will flush red when they get agitated. A grey hood-like structure around the back of their neck inspires the common name. Experts say these animals are unafraid of humans and will often gather near settlements. Like other vultures, they're scavengers that feed off carrion. That behaviour can have a strong impact on their population. Large numbers of hooded vultures have been unintentionally killed after feeding off animal carcasses that were poisoned by poachers. They've also been poisoned intentionally. Other factors leading to a steep decline in numbers are hunting and habitat destruction. Number 7. Pygmy hippos. A small hippopotamus sounds like an oxymoron, but you can find these creatures in West African swamps. Until the 19th century, the animals were unknown outside of that region. They essentially look like a smaller version of their much larger cousins. This species is also semi-aquatic, herbivorous, and related to whales and dolphins. Pygmy hippos are about half as tall as common hippos and less than 1/4 of their weight. The pygmy beast weighs about 600 pounds, 275 kilograms, and measure over 5.5 feet long, 1.7 meters. While their appearance is similar, key differences are seen in the behavior of this species. Common hippos are known for being bold and aggressive. The smaller hippos are solitary creatures that are nocturnal. During the day, they stay hidden in rivers. Their reclusive nature is why they're difficult for researchers to study in the wild. Thanks to a shrinking habitat and illegal hunting, their population in the wild has fallen to less than 3,000 individuals. Conservationists say that if this species survives, it will probably be in captivity. Number 6. Ethiopian wolf. You could say that these critters really enjoy the high life. Their distribution is restricted to isolated mountain ranges at elevations close to 15,000 feet or 4,500 meters. There's a good reason why they seek such isolation. Experts say that this is not only the most endangered carnivore in Africa, it's also one of the rarest canids on the planet. They're recognized by a long, narrow skull and fur that's colored red and white. Weighing more than 40 pounds, 19 kilograms, they're about the same size as a North American coyote. That makes sense, because DNA analysis reveals that these animals are more closely related to coyotes than to other canids in Africa. Did you know that the Ethiopian wolf has been regarded as a rare animal since first being described in 1835? Number 5. Rothschild's giraffe. There's no way to overlook a giraffe because they're the world's tallest extant land mammals. Rothschild's giraffe is a subspecies with a couple of notable physical traits. They're among the tallest of giraffes, standing more than 19 feet tall, 5.9 meters, and they're born with 5 ossicones on their head. Ossicones are the horn-like structures on a giraffe's noggin, and most of the animals only have 2 of them. Isolated populations are found mainly in the grasslands and savannas of Kenya and Uganda, where they live in protected areas. Experts say it's becoming increasingly more difficult to see this subspecies in the wild, with fewer than 1,700 individuals estimated to exist. Did you know it was named for the British zoologist and banker Walter Rothschild? Number 4. Mountain gorillas. This is one of 2 subspecies of the eastern gorilla that's found in national parks of Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Their total population numbered just over 1,000 individuals in 2018. Males weigh about 430 pounds, 195 kilograms, and are more than 6.5 feet tall, 1.7 meters when standing upright. This species has thicker fur than other gorillas, which enables them to withstand the colder temperatures at elevations exceeding 14,000 feet, 4,300 meters. They're most active between 6 AM and 6 PM and spend most of their day eating leaves, stems, and tree bark. Did you know your fellow great apes can put away 75 pounds, 34 kilograms of food each day? Even though they're large and powerful, they're regarded as shy and gentle creatures. And although it's hard to believe, mountain gorillas are naturally afraid of smaller reptiles and insects like chameleons and caterpillars. Experts still don't have an explanation for that behavior. What do you think? Number 3. African penguins. While there are 17 to 20 extant penguin species depending on the source, only 8 of them chill in the Antarctic. All of the birds are aquatic and flightless, but certain species like this variety prefer warmer climates. These critters are confined to the waters of southern Africa and live in colonies scattered across 24 islands between Namibia and Port Elizabeth. They're known as the only penguin species that breeds in South Africa. These animals are popular choices for zoos. Since they don't require low temperatures to survive, they can be kept in outdoor enclosures. Did you know that in the early 20th century, there were an estimated 1.5 million African penguins? Less than 100 years later, only about 10% of that number remained. Experts say that with their current rate of decline, these birds could be extinct in the wild by 2026. Number 2. African coelacanth. There's rare, and then there's rare. This creature was once believed to have gone extinct some 60 million years ago. That's before the critters were discovered in the waters of South Africa in 1938. After scientists reassessed the animal, it was designated as a living fossil since they have changed so little over 400 million years. They can weigh around 176 pounds, 80 kilograms, and measure some 6.5 feet long or 2 meters. These vertebrates belong to a rare order that's more closely related to reptiles and mammals than to ray-finned fishes. There are 2 extant species of this animal, with the second found in Indonesia. The African specimen is distinguished by a blue pigmentation and is also known as the West Indian ocean coelacanth. Number 1. HIROLA. This is a rare species of antelope whose natural range is around the border between Kenya and Somalia. They're medium-sized bovines that are distinguished by the lyre-shaped horns possessed by both sexes. Their preferred habitats include wooded savannas and open grassland, but it's unknown how much longer they'll be found there. These animals have undergone a population collapse of historic proportions. In the 1970s, there were an estimated 15,000 individuals. Today, estimates range between 300 to 500 individuals remaining in the wild. None are known to exist in captivity. Reasons for their decline are not totally understood, but experts cite a combination of factors including disease, overcompetition for food sources, and severe drought. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for our next exciting episode right here on Epic Wildlife.